My name is Gregory Agid, and I'm joined with the wonderful Mr. Darrian Douglas.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Greg? Endea, what's happening?
Good evening.
Hello.
And tonight, our special guest, we're joined with Miss Endea Owens from up in New York City.
Absolutely. And for you guys who don't know, Endea is originally from Detroit. Is that how you say it? Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm from Mississippi. Y'all gotta forgive me. You know, I don't really speak English that good. Anyway, she graduated from the illustrious school, Juilliard.
Ooh.
I know, it's fancy, man. It's like real fancy.
I believe when you say it, you're supposed to like put your finger up.
Take a little.
JUILLIARD.
And she's currently working on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, with John Batiste and Stay Human, and she's doing a lot of great things, and we're gonna get into them a little bit later today. But before we do, I want to give Endea a chance to tell you guys a little bit about herself and why she is a virtuoso.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So, hey, everybody. I am Endea Owens. I'm a bassist, composer, educator, auntie. I love life. I love music and everything about it. I have an organization called the Community Cookout. We give out 100 free meals to the New York communities, plus a free pop-up concert. It was a brainchild that I developed over COVID because, you know, I've been blessed to continue working, and I just felt that it was my duty to reach out to people and to have people working to feed people. Yeah, like I've played bass for a long time. I played violin for a long time. I've done tours. I do the Late Show. I've done some recordings.
You've done it all.
Sounds like you got a lot going on.
Not yet.
Recordings. Have you done Broadway? I'm sure you have.
Off Broadway.
Off Broadway. Same thing. Yeah. You can count that.
That's awesome. So Endea, you grew up in Detroit. Can you tell us a little bit about like your musical upbringing and your background and how you made it to the big city up in New York?
Oh wow, yeah. So my first introduction to music was actually when my mother bought me a Yamaha keyboard. I was 8 years old, and she noticed that I could play by ear. I could play every jingle that I heard, everything. And I was actually really good. Right now I'm kind of trash. But at the time, I was really good at the piano. I could play lots of classical pieces. I played for my school's graduations. I was really good. But then my school had their own free music program, and they were giving away free instruments too for us to actually start studying in the school. So I started on violin, and I played that for about 7 years until high school. Well, I played both in high school classically. My instructor in high school actually made me switch to the double bass because he heard me playing Mozart Symphony 25 by ear. I was just playing it for fun after school. And he said, you know what, we need a bass player. You get an F or play the bass.
That sounds like a great teacher. I need to implement that in my classroom.
And I didn't want to do it, but he said, you're gonna thank me later. And yeah, so that's what happened then. But I still taught myself the bass because we didn't have a bass teacher. During a college tour to my school, Detroit School of Arts, I met RODNEY WHITAKER randomly at the high school, and that was my first time hearing a live bassist, like really hearing a live band. It was my first introduction to jazz, and yeah, I owe him a lot because he was one of the reasons why I was able to afford to go to college, to go to Michigan State first for my undergrad. And he was my first bass teacher. so that's what happened. And if we're going about the college story, I applied to Juilliard twice. The first time I made it to the final round, didn't get in. The second time I made it, but both times, the second time, no, the first time. Okay. The first time, actually this happened for Michigan State and Juilliard. I actually took the Greyhound up to my auditions.
Wow.
Yeah, and for Michigan State, it was really special because my mom was like, okay, you got it. I was like, I think so. So I took the Greyhound up to East Lansing, and and yeah, I actually almost missed that audition because I was like, okay, where am I? But Rodney was so helpful. He's like a key part in this whole journey.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Actually, I was on YouTube earlier today watching some videos of you, and you shared, it was like a Times Square channel or something like that. They were talking, you were talking about your how you made it to the audition, and I heard this story that like a gentleman like gave you $40 to take the cab. Can you tell that story? I thought that was such a cool story.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was the true broke college student. So when I graduated from Michigan State, I really wanted to hear different sounds, just be engulfed in music, like a different type of music than I was used to, because in Detroit, we're all about mentoring, and I was exposed to music, but in New York, you can hear every type of genre. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to New York. Then I was like, okay, transportation. Okay. So I actually, yeah, I went to the Greyhound. I got my ticket to go from Michigan to New York, put my bass under the luggage carrier.
Oh,
and when I got the bass out, my actual bridge was not on the bass. It was like twisted. That was the day of my audition. I said, oh my God. and I'm fixing my bass. Okay, now I'm running close to time. And I was at Port Authority. I came running out, and then I just see a sea of cars and a sea of people.
Wow.
And I look at the clock, and I have 30 minutes to get to this audition. And this man, bless his heart, he saw me and he said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not, I am not okay. And I told him what was happening. I was like, I gotta get to my audition. You know, I'm like having a moment. And yeah, he gave me $40. He said, go and be great. Do the audition, you're gonna be great. And yeah, that's actually how I made it to the audition, because of a blessed angel.
Did you play your bass, or did you have to borrow someone else's?
I played my bass because I had to fix my bridge. And the thing about people with their instruments, some people aren't too nice to be like, okay, you can play mine, because it's a competition, you know. So, you know, I wanted to see if I could fix it.
Yeah. Ain't nobody finna let you play their bass. Like, you can't play my bass.
It's happened.
Listen, that's actually a great segue into the next segment, because I want to talk about community and how dedicated you are to the community. And this guy was very, in your community, he was dedicated to you, you know, nail it at audition. So like when we see you doing things like your the program, you're feeding 100 people, 100 different families, and you're coming up on 300 families you're about to feed. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what inspired you exactly to do something like that, and also like what past experiences did you have to motivate you to do that?
Oh, well, I always just believe that you have to love people. You have to love every person. You know, everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves to be seen and heard. My own personal experience, me and my mother, we were homeless. So we relied on these programs a lot, like church pantries, anybody giving out food, anybody at a garage sale giving out clothes.
Absolutely.
That's what we relied on. And I just know that some people suffer in silence. So I just wanted to make an event that was so free, so open. We don't take tips. I just wanted people to have 1 hour, one day where they felt normal, where they can focus when you're fed, when you have dinner or you have lunch, you know, your mind can focus on what you have to do.
Absolutely.
So actually Mwenzo and the Shakes, Russell Hall and Michaela, hey, they did this beautiful Juneteenth celebration. And I felt so liberated that day. So July 4th came. I was like, I don't want to celebrate the patriarchy, you know? So I said, you know, I want to do something that's really for the community. So me and a friend, we just got like $100. Well, I got I got meals. I got this local caterer to just provide 100 meals, and we just passed it out on the roof of her car.
Wow.
That was the first time. Then, of course, the second time it was more organized.
Yeah.
That was August 28th, and now we have a whole system that's happening on Saturday. So it just came about through feelings of liberation and just, you know, giving back, because people don't really realize that everything that you have right now can be gone.
Absolutely. Well,
You know,
maybe they realize it more now because of COVID, you know?
Exactly. So you have to be thankful for everything, and you have to help people. Like if you have it, like that's what I believe in.
Yeah. Now, just for people, if someone's watching this, they want to come to your next event, which is on September 28th, right?
Okay. No, it's
26th. Sorry, September 26th. How does it work? Is this that? Wow, that's true. Today's the 21st, so is this coming Saturday? And if they come, do they have to sign up? Do they walk up? How does it work for them to get the free meal exactly?
You just walk up. We have masks, we have hand sanitizer, we have gloves, we have music. Just come up. It's free.
And where are you going to be on the 26th exactly? Like,
it's the Savoy Playground in Harlem.
Okay, cool. What's the cross streets, just for some people?
Lennox is between 140th and 141st.
There you go. So free food for everybody, and you're just going to give it out until it runs out, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, so I hope a lot of people take advantage of that. Go ahead, Greg.
That's so beautiful, and I really appreciate hearing that, because you know you mentioned $100, and I know a lot of us will say like $100 is not a lot of money, but again, like in the spirit of giving and what you were saying about helping people and things like that, like it's amazing how much maybe that $100 can go to serve a community, to help people, to really benefit someone. Absolutely. And I think it really goes with, I think, the way Darrian and I both think, and I love hearing you that kind of we're on the same page, but like we all have something to offer, and we always can contribute in helping other people's lives. And I really, man, that's such a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Absolutely. Yo, so yeah. I just thought of something I want to do. Just to, is there a way people can give you money for this? Like if they want to give you, if they're listening, how do they do that?
Yes, and I actually want to say I slipped up. It's not $100. It's a lot more.
Totally.
No, and I mean you started when you started with $100 bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, 100 people. Okay.
Yes. Gotcha. Oh my! Please donate. Yeah, but anyone who wants to donate, they can Venmo me personally at Endea Owens. That's ENDEA -OWENS. Cash App is the $, Endea Owens, or PayPal, endea.owens@gmail.com. Because all the payments and all of the payments to the caterers and musicians come directly out of my pocket.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we understand that, you know. And make sure you guys donate. Look, we're a nonprofit, so we know $1 goes a long way when you're trying to do something for the people. Yeah. So what about this gig you got, the Late Show? What happened with that? How did you get it?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a funny story. Yeah, so it all started with Winton. I feel like so many things start with Winton.
Yeah. Winton Morales. Winton Morales, right? That's his name.
Winton Marsalis.
Great Morales family.
Winton. Yeah, but I was doing a live stream with him at Rose Hall, and it was little did I know that John Batiste, he was watching it, and he saw me playing. We didn't really know each other that well, just through passing. Hey, bye. So I get a call from an unknown number. So I'm actually on my way to the airport. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm trying to get here. I get an unknown call. Like, who is this? Like, you know, I'm hyped. And he was like, this is John Batiste. And I was like, oh, okay, calling me unknown. But, you know, it was cool because we talked about life and music, spirituality. It wasn't about any gigs or anything. So I actually really appreciated that. And I was like, okay, that was a nice call. Mm-hmm. I didn't really think too much of it. And then maybe like a month or two later, he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do 3 days on the Late Show. And I said, of course. So I actually memorized all the music, and I don't know, it was a different type of energy that I brought that day. And it just felt so natural. When I got there, I was just happy to be there, happy to play with different people. Everybody was cool. I felt seen, I felt heard. Wow. And then eventually 3 days turned into 2 months. 2 months turned into a year, and now I'm on the show. So yeah, I owe a lot to John. Like, talk about community. Like, he does nothing but help people. So thank you, John. So, yeah, so that's how that happened.
Okay, that's great, man. It just made me think of this thing that Chris McBride, that's your homeboy, right? He always says, it ain't about the call, it's about the call back. So, so there you go. You got the sauce on that, man.
I feel like that's how a lot of gigs end up working out. You get a call for one gig, and the question is, do you get the call back next week? or are you just a one and done type cat?
That's right. One hit wonder, baby. One hit wonder.
Yeah.
So we all noticed that during the height of the civil unrest that continues in America and has continued for 400 years now, that you were out there. You were one of the first people out there, busting heads, screaming, yelling. You even took your bait. You was out there playing. You was doing all sweating. I saw you. You were out there. And what gave you that energy to go out there and protest the way that you did, even though you could have died from COVID? Because people may have forgotten, this was at the height of COVID. You know, in New York City, we had body bags stacked up in Central Park, but you was out there marching for the people. Why?
Yeah. Because it just, I mean, tomorrow's not promised. And I felt the emotions that I felt seeing all those countless Black lives, like souls just done from this earth. Like it was an emotion that was just too much. And as soon as one of my friends called me like, hey, Endea, you know, we're out here. Do you want to be out there? I was like, yes. I put my clothes on immediately. I got out there because this can be See, I have 3 nephews. That can be any one of them. Like there was a baby that, like 12-year-old, that got shot down in Walmart. Like I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my mother that worked to the bone, that is still working to this day. I did it for my sisters. I did it for myself. I did it for everyone that I know that is Black. Like, this could be any of us. So it just, like, that was my reason. And I didn't really think about what it would mean to me if I lost my life. I guess I was just putting on the armor of God with a mask. But yeah, that was really my mindset, you know, and I was just like, okay, we have to fight for this. We have to fight for something. It, like, everything in my spirit said, okay, this is the time. Something is going to shift. And as you can see, like, there is a shift and a change worldwide. So those were the reasons, if that's clear enough.
Absolutely. That's the passion you had.
Yeah.
Just explaining that. I did that for my nephew. I did, you know, because, and I get that. I got a nephew, I got a niece, and I got a new baby, you know, and so I don't want those things to happen to them, and I don't want it to happen to me or anybody else in my family, you know, or anybody. You know, that shouldn't be happening to anybody, period. And so I get that. And it for me, I was like, damn, man, this is crazy. People like Endea's out there, but like COVID, yo, and it's like New York, like, it's not like we were in Kansas, you know, where it's like that's 5 cases of COVID. No, we were like the #1 place in the world, and you were out there risking your life for your fellow man, which is huge.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, like, it seems like you have like you have like a definite fire that's like burning inside of you, that you seem to be extremely proactive and very in touch with making a first move in so many aspects of your life. Like, where does that come from? Is that something that, like, you think you were born with, or is that like a trait that, like, you kind of developed out of necessity?
Yeah, it came out of necessity, just making it happen. And, you know, Detroit, like, you know, growing up there, we're just go-getters. Like, we're a people that constantly creates. If you look through the history of Detroit, we're creators, we're innovators. Like every person that I know in Detroit that has moved or like really has been exposed to resources have grasped them so tight. So, like, I think we understand full circle that, okay, you don't get a lot of chances to do things. So you have to take it, like, you have to do it now. So that's where I blame Detroit on that.
That was a great question, Greg, and, you know, a beautiful answer too.
Yeah, it's a really great answer.
You wrote a song, and we're gonna play it, and I hope everybody's paying attention to this. And right now, if you just tuning in, this is Endea Owens. I'm Darrian Douglas, and that's Gregory Agid, and this is the Working Artist Project. But we're now gonna play one of your songs, and I believe it's called "For the Brothers."
Yes.
Right. And I think it's kind of about what we're talking about right now. And so Greg is gonna hit play on that, and we're gonna see y'all in just a few.
So I'm gonna play this track. Here we go.
Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. Like the whole time, I know at home everybody was dancing because I'm here dancing. You know what I
That
mean?
was awesome. Who can you tell us who's on the track and maybe what inspired you to write that?
Yes, so it's Jonathan Barber on drums, Jonathan Thomas on piano, Jeffrey Miller on trombone,
Jeffrey Miller. Sorry.
Chris McBride on saxophone, and Josh Evans on trumpet.
That's what's up.
That was
All super bad dudes, man. I was wondering who was on that joint. You know what I was thinking while it was playing is we don't want to forget about the ladies, you know, because it's just because the song title is for the brother. I'm sure you mean everybody, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we all out here together.
Yes, for the people.
Yeah, for the people. There you go. For the people.
Mm.
Yeah, man, you got some of those. Yeah, Jeffrey Miller's from New Orleans, and you know, Greg is from New Orleans too. Well,
Okay.
from Hawaii by way of New Orleans.
Yeah, by way of New Orleans.
So we all, you know, we're all family from down there.
In the context of this conversation, I can't call Jeffrey JUILLIARD anymore because that might get confusing. I got too much JUILLIARD up in here. Actually, he was actually watching earlier. He was commenting on the video. He said, "What's up?"
Oh.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So tell us more about your band and where somebody might, if they want to get that record, if they want to check y'all out, you know, post-COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, so my record, I actually decided to hold on releasing it because now I'm feeling so many ways right now. So I'm actually going to do some additions to it. So it'll be available in separate singles starting October 20th.
Okay. That's what's up. What's the name of it?
For the people.
For the
I'm
people.
sorry. Oh my God, no. Feel good.
Feel good. Okay.
We got to feel good for the people.
That's right. Feel good for the people.
I love it.
That's what's up. So y'all go check that record out. Endea Owens, Feel Good for the People, kind of.
Can I ask you that since you are putting a record out during this this pandemic time, how have your plans changed on releasing the record, and what kind of hurdles and what kind of challenges does this present to you?
Well, actually, I think I felt, well, when COVID first started happening, the first hurdle was getting out of bed and actually, you know, being around people, like feeling that joy instead of rage and anger and sadness. Like that was the first major hurdle. And with everything involving racism that went on, the racism of 2020, just as the cherry on top of everything else that's been going on for centuries, it was just a lot to process. But you know, I always feel like nothing is impossible. If anything, I'm more inspired just being able to sit with those emotions and to feel it 100%, the raw emotional feeling of everything that inspired me to go forward and do it as singles. And it's actually, speaking logistically, it's easier that way. Mm-hmm. And that's a great way for me to process what I really want to say.
Absolutely. So you're doing every song on the record as a single?
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's how it's gonna be.
A
single and video.
Oh, video.
Oh,
okay,
awesome.
Cool.
Are you working through a label, or is this going to be self-released?
Independent.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Did you do a lot of the writing during this time, or are these some tunes that maybe you had like written before?
Well, that song in particular, I wrote that around the death of Trayvon Martin when that first happened. So that was a old song that I had only wrote part of the melody to, and then I dug it back up around 2017. And every other song, it's been written at different times, like how I feel about police brutality, being a Black woman, how I feel about expressing love, feeling love. You know, it's different moments in my life.
Wow, that's deep. You want to go a little bit more into any of those topics? Let the people know. Give them a little teaser.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I have this untitled song, and it was actually about a former relationship that I did have, and a lot of times it just made me think about how I feel as a Black woman in so many spaces. That song, and sometimes I don't feel seen and heard. But at the end of the song, this is actually Chris's favorite song.
Okay.
He knows it. But at the end of the song, it has a turnaround at the coda where like you kind of have to, like it sounds like you're fighting the love inside yourself, because you have to have self-love before, you know, you're like finding love. So that was one of the moments.
You know what? That is some profound. I'm trying not to curse this episode, but
not
yeah,
in front of the crib.
That's right, not in front of a yeah.
You have a baby now. You can't do that.
I can't do that anymore. But it's very profound because I think in life we all go through like these changes, these ups and downs, these trials and tribulations, like they say in the church. And I think it always comes back to, do I love myself? You know, and during COVID, someone said something to me, and they were like, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people are finding out that they don't like themselves because you finally like you can't do nothing but be with yourself right now.
You got to sit with yourself.
Yeah. And so just understanding like, hey, you know what? Before anyone else can love me, I gotta love myself in a certain type of way. That's some deep shit, you know. It really is, man. Like, go ahead.
To add to what you were saying though about you have to love yourself before you can create love and have enough love to share with other people. But again, it's like that idea that if you're empty or if you're missing 10% of the love you need, you gotta, you know, you need to fill that 10% void before you have enough to give to someone else. And you know, I've definitely been, you know, trying to find the blessing in this COVID situation, but I really, you know, I'm sure the two of you can also identify with this too, like having the space and the time to really sit with ourselves. And because, you know, all of us as musicians are always running gig to gig, session to session, trying to shed these tunes that we don't have enough time to learn and things like that. So I really, you know, I appreciate, you know, one of the blessings of this situation for me has been having the time and space to figure out how I feel about myself. And it sounds like you guys were also on that journey yourselves.
Yeah, man. That was some good points, girl. It brings me around like, Endea, what do you think is going to happen after COVID is over? You know, like what happens for us musicians and how do we navigate and prepare for that?
Honestly, I almost feel like it's going to be remotely the same. Remotely. Because
you mean like remote recording and stuff like that, you mean?
Yeah, but I hear a lot of musicians talking about the wages given from these venues and everything. But then again, I see live streams that are free. And I understand you have to do what you have to do for donations, but it just seems like the same thing that's been happening at these venues, but worse. So I'm actually really concerned about what's going to happen. And then it was a law passed on Facebook, well, a rule passed that you can't even do live stream performances starting October 1st. So it's not looking so good. And I think about the older people that might not be that savvy when it comes to technology. Like you have to know how to record, you have to know how to do things quickly. And you know, some people they like this equipment costs a lot.
Yeah.
Like everything takes a lot of time. Like, and you have to have the resources for it. So I'm seeing people playing outside, myself as well, but winter is also right around the corner. So what happens then? Does everyone turn into a studio musician? That's kind of impossible. So there needs to be a new way of thinking about this, thinking about our worth as musicians. I'm not sure if that involves contacting our union, like really demanding this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's things that we actually actively have to do for things to really change.
Yeah.
Like actively protest for things to change, because right now we're just getting the bitter end of the stick.
Dude, this has been such a challenge for musicians, and I've been saying this to a lot of cats. Like, it just, you know, not to get into the politics of things, but again, like, it's just such a shame that the government can legally close. You know, it seems like the only industry that really hasn't opened back up is anything to do with entertainment, arts. You know, people who are, you know, doing the lighting and all that kind of stuff. The whole industry is gone, and also we're not, like, we have to find alternative work. And it just like, I feel like if the government says you can't open up the club, we should be compensated. We should have some type of like bread, or we should be taken care of, instead of like, you know, the club can't open, now go work at Walmart. You know, because it's not like people don't want to see music anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
and
just such a
that
shame.
involves a lot of the union.
Yeah.
A lot of these organizations. I know some have helped, but we need somewhere that we can go to for aid. And what we have right now is kind of shaky, or dang near non-existent.
Right.
So that, I think that will solve some issues.
Yeah, it's a rough one, man. It's because so many people weren't prepared for this, you know, and the government, like Greg said, you said there's no support, and I think we do have to change. We have to change and say, okay, maybe clubs don't come back for a year or 2 years, or if you're playing like Greg was playing arenas, so you know that's not coming back anytime soon, you know. So you got to just think about, okay, if I do live stream, maybe I got to charge for these live streams. Maybe I do one live stream for free, but then after that, the subsequent ones have to be, you know, fee based. Even if it's $10, it's the internet. Everyone has it, so it's kind of like the audience is limitless. You got to think about it like that. Personally, that's what I think. You know,
I think it's like also like, yeah, again, with like the idea of organizing, and it's I think one of the biggest hurdles that we have as musicians too is that, you know, just because some of us organize, and then you got, you know, one band that's not part of the organization and out there playing for free or whatever, and it's like we're always dealing with cats undercutting, or, you know, it's again hustling to get work. And I think that's just going to be a struggle that we're constantly going to have to deal with, and
yeah,
we have to just accept it's going to be part of the hustle, and find a way to incorporate that, and still have a strong union, still have, you know, rights for musicians and working class people, you know.
yeah, absolutely. Endea, you know, we're coming up to the end of this interview.
Wow. We had so many topics.
I know we had so many. We hit a lot of stuff, and you know, listen. Thanks for coming on. I do want to get one more, maybe two more questions in here, and this is a more serious question here, and I saw this on Instagram actually. I didn't even know this was happening, and I saw a mutual friend of ours post something hashtag respect us, or the respect us campaign. And it's a movement that's happening within your respective industry, where the television musicians, it seems like they're not, I don't know, I don't work in television, but it seems like they're not getting paid the same scale as actors or some other people. And you guys are trying to lobby the powers that be to get respect. Do you want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, so the Respect Us campaign has been in the works for months, and it's just like during everything that's been going on, we see the basketball, NBA, WNBA strikes. Like, we're striking for a reason. You know, we see the protests. The musicians got together, specifically TV musicians, those that work on late night TV shows, The Voice, any of the shows that you see. We just are asking for parity. You know, we're asking for equal pay because if you look at the Writers Guild or SAG-AFTRA, they get paid a lot more than we do, but we're the most diverse union. We're the most diverse group of people, and we get paid dramatically less. So that's what we are asking for, like in the Respect Us campaign. You know, we think that this is not for just out the blue. You know, I mean, it's been documented since the beginning that Black people, people of color, we get paid less at every point. And if you're a woman, then you're really getting paid less. So that's what the campaign is about, because we do deserve to get paid for what we have spent our lives building, crafting. So that's what it's about.
That's what's up. And if y'all watching this and you watch one of those TV shows, The Voice, I know y'all watch The Voice. I'll be in here watching it too. And the band is killing. Write a letter, you know, write an email and say, yo, y'all should be paying those guys. Y'all should be paying those men and women the proper amount of money so that they can do their job and feed their families, you know.
Can you speak on maybe how some, like, being a musician on those shows differs from being a writer or an actor in terms of payment, and maybe also how we can support? No, you don't have to get into it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. But
Yeah, that
maybe,
might be a little too deep.
yeah, but would you mind talking about also maybe how we could support and, like, you know, show our support for the musicians on these shows?
Yeah, so since we already started the social media campaign, the simplest way to show support is sharing the images. Sharing the images of Respect Us, sharing the image. It's on the local AFM page too, what it's about, the full description. You can write a letter to these networks, CBS, NBC, ABC. You can write to the union, SAG-AFTRA, the Writers Guild. Those are ways.
Okay, that's what's up. And I hope y'all do that because, listen, it takes a lot of bravery. I don't know if people realize this, but first of all, if you are on TV, right, as a bass player, there's probably only 5 of those gigs. And then there's 3 billion bass players behind you waiting, right, with their chops. So then, like, oh, y'all gonna protest? Cool, protest, because they're gonna be right there trying to get the gig, and they be like, pay me less, bro. I just want to be on TV and this and that. So just to have that courage to be like, you know what, I'm willing to lose this gig to make sure that we get to the next step. That's huge.
And that's going to help everybody too. You know, not only the cats on the band, it's going to help the other dude trying to undercut you too, because, you know, a lot of that, the rights that you're fighting for are going to translate into other arenas of the music industry.
Exactly.
Can I just ask, sorry, a really quick question, but like, as a musician working on those shows, you're specifically, the union is like the musicians union. You're not part of SAG or the Writers Guild or anything like that, right?
No, it's just the musicians union. We have a choice to be in SAG-AFTRA. Myself personally, I'm with Local 802.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's what's up. Listen, well, we're at the end now, so we're Endea. Thank you so much for coming on the Working Artist Project. That was dope, and we learned a lot about you today. We learned you're an activist, you know. So you out here, man. You out here. Before we go though, let's plug your campaign one more time. The 100 Free Meals Project is called the Community Cookout, and it's happening this Saturday, September 26, 2020 at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. And I don't have the address. What's the address again?
Between 140th and 141st. Between 141st and 140th in Lenox Avenue at the Savoy Playground.
There you go. And I'm sure you'll hear the music and you'll see the people. And she's going to give out at least 100 free meals. And you can donate to her cause by hitting her up on her different PayPals and stuff like that. And if you really want to know, just shoot her a DM and she'll tell you exactly where to send the money. And the money goes right to the people's mouth. So there you go. Yo, this is the Working Artist Project. I'm Darrian Douglas.
My name is Gregory Agid. Endea, thank you very much for sharing your time with us. And thank you so much for the beautiful music and just having that fire and sharing it with everyone in so many ways. We really appreciate that. And I have so much admiration for you in doing that.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, y'all. You guys have a wonderful night. We're logging out. Y'all have a great night.
All right.
Later.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.